Hello and welcome back to Michigan Living with Jeff. I'm your realtor, Jeff, and let's get to something that is pretty well known, but we just don't like talking about. What is that? That is that you are a representative of the top 5 people that you hang around, even as children. Let's talk about this, shall we? All right. We all know the perks of having friends in high places, but for low income children, friendships across socioeconomic lines can mean the difference between rising out of poverty and getting left behind. That's according to the results of two new studies published in the scientific journal Nature this week. Using data from more than 72 million Facebook users between the ages of 25 and 44, researchers found that cross-class connections are the most important determinant of upward social mobility for lower-income Americans. In other words, it's more likely for children to rise out of poverty if they're friends with wealthier kids. Growing up in a community connected across class lines improves kids' outcomes and gives them a better shot at rising out of poverty. Raj Chetty, a Harvard economist and the study's lead researcher, told New York Times. The researchers used data from Facebook to identify the places with the most connections between low-income and high-income users. Kids in those communities have access to opportunities that give them a leg up, from shaping career aspirations and norms to providing valuable information about schools and colleges to providing connections to internship and job opportunities, the researchers wrote. That translates to higher earning potential. If lower income children grew up in places where 70% of their friends were wealthy, they see a 20% boost in income in adulthood on average, the study found. The researcher said that bump is equivalent to the difference between growing up in a household that makes $47,000 a year compared to ones that earn $27,000 a year. In Salt Lake City, for instance, people below the median income tend to have nearly as many high-income friends as they do low-income friends. The researchers project that kids with parents at the 25th income percentile of the city will exceed the 45th income percentile when they're older. Exactly. Oops. Friendships between rich and poor kids are uncommon, though. Unfortunately, the researchers also found that communities where rich and poor people have ample opportunities to interact are the exceptions rather than the rule. It's much more common for social networks to be segregated by income. People in the bottom tenth of the income distribution in the United States have fewer than 2% of their friends coming from the top 10% of incomes, according to the study. I can understand that. In other words, wealthy people tend to have wealthy friends. Right. And poor people tend to have poor friends. Unfortunately true. Given what we know about the importance of friendships across class lines, the researchers pointed to several policy recommendations that could help bridge the gap. Those include zoning and affordable housing policies designed to reduce segregation, and making changes to school and university structures to create diverse groups of student connections. Okay. All to boost the odds kids will make friends across class lines. Okay, that's interesting. The only problem I have with that, yep, that's the end of it. No comments? All right, doesn't look like there's any comments. I'll make a comment. Good luck with that. Because of what you've already described, you're only looking at it from the point of view of the poor, shall we say. But just like with my child or children, but the one that matters right now is my youngest. Would I rather have him hang out with more wealthy families or poorer families? Well, wealthier ones. Why? There's nothing to do with anything except that I want him to be associating himself with people that have more promise. Now, it doesn't always guarantee that children that are being grown up with wealthy parents and stuff like that are actually going to mimic and take on the characteristics of their rich parents and continue on with that. In fact, we're seeing probably a lot less of that right now. Whereas they are pretty much the exact opposite. So, that's why the whole general gist of you are the people that you hang around. It's just a simple fact. Because you tend to always be whoever you hang around. All right? If you hang around business people, and then, they're going to influence you to start a business, to think about how you can be able to do business, how you can be able to, do this, and this. Because that's what they do. All right? If you have a bunch of friends and all they want to do is go out to the bar and play pool and spend their money on, liquor and, pool or whatever, then they're going to be a big influence on them to drink liquor, just hang out at the bar, and just play pool all the time, instead of going out there in order to make money. It's just how it works. All right? So that's the thing. That's what this thing's about, and that's why, of course, they're trying to be able to talk about children and, raising them up. But this one is talking about trying to be able to have it so that the poor children will be able to have a leg up to go up. But there's resistance from the up crowd because they don't want to dilute their kids' social circles either. They want them to hang around other people that are up high as well, so that it's sort of, they can go around and wherever, and they can be able to still hold on to really good values. But, it's interesting that they're talking about it, and it's a very important fact, especially for any parents. The parents used to really care about whoever their children were hanging around with. All right? Because there's always that thing is like, I don't want you hanging around this person. Well, why? Because they don't meet my qualifications. All right, that's the old adage and so that basically. And so your friends aren't good enough to be for me. We've all gotten that and stuff like that. We've always had at least one of those friends and stuff like that. Even our parents always went, why? Why? And it's true. But, all right, everybody. And so I thought that I would bring this up to you, read you the story, and see what you think. And so comment, like, and share below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.